I've always had an intense yearning for my stepfather Ryan, a desire to be close to him in the most profound way. That yearning finally became a reality. One ordinary afternoon, my life had been simple until my mom introduced Ryan into our world. Initially, I didn't think much of him. He seemed like any other man in the house, polite, a bit distant, and always respectful of my space. Despite his age, there was something about him, a quiet confidence and a mysterious air that naturally drew people in. At the time, I didn't pay much attention to it. I wasn't seeking anything more. But then one afternoon, everything shifted. After a long, tiring day at work, I felt the need to take a shower to wash off the day's heat. My mom had gone out with her friends, leaving just Ryan and me at home. We had been alone before, but this time felt different. There was an odd tension in the air, a silent energy that enveloped us. I was in my room, the soft hum of the air conditioner the only sound as I changed out of my work clothes. I stood there dressed only in my underwear. When I heard footsteps approaching my door, my heart skipped a beat. I hadn't locked it. Why hadn't I locked the door? I felt frozen, unable to move. The door creaked open, and there stood Ryan in the doorway. Our eyes met, and for a moment neither of us moved. I didn't cover myself. Instead, I felt a strange pull, a compulsion not to. Ryan stood there, his eyes scanning over me, sending shivers down my spine. He didn't speak, but his gaze said more than words ever could. There was a desire, a longing I had never noticed in him before. I should have said something, told him to leave to close the door, but I remained, still letting him look at me. Finally, he broke the silence. "I'm sorry," he said, though there was no true remorse in his tone. My heart raced, my breath quickening. I turned slightly toward him, as if inviting him to stay. "It's okay," I whispered, surprised by the sound of my own voice. I didn't want him to leave. I wanted him to stay to do more than just watch. He hesitated, but only briefly before stepping into my room and quietly closing the door behind him. His presence filled the space, and I was acutely aware of him. He moved slowly, as if giving me a chance to change my mind, but I didn't. Ryan reached out his hand, lightly brushing against my arm. I felt a surge of warmth and excitement. He moved closer, his breath warm against my skin, and the tension between us thickened with every second. My heart raced, but I felt a sense of calm and peace. "Are you sure?" he asked, his voice soft and gentle. I nodded, biting my lip and looking up at him through my lashes. "Yes," I whispered, my voice barely audible but filled with anticipation. The attraction between us was undeniable, and he felt it too. His hand slid to my waist, pulling me gently against him. I wrapped my arms around his neck, pulling him even closer. Our lips met the kiss, starting gently but quickly deepening, fueling the passion that had built up between us. Each kiss was like a spark, igniting something new and exciting inside me. His hands explored my body, caressing me in ways that left me weak, my knees nearly giving out. I clung to him, feeling safe and protected, pressing myself against him, desperate for more time, seemed to stretch, each moment enveloping us as we got lost in each other. Every touch, every kiss, every breath drew us deeper into this forbidden moment. He gently lifted me, placing me on the bed as he hovered above me, his gaze fixed on mine with an intensity that sent shivers through me. His fingers gently traced a line down my neck and collarbone, pausing just above the waistband of my underwear. In that moment, he gave me one last chance to stop things from progressing, but I had no intention of halting my desire for him. It was stronger than anything I had ever felt before. "Please," I whispered, arching my back slightly, pulling him closer. "Don't stop." That was all the encouragement he needed. His hands moved upward, slipping beneath the fabric, and I gasped at the sensation of his fingers against my bare skin. He was gentle, taking his time, savoring every second, every touch. I could feel the tension building inside me, every nerve tingling as he explored my body. His hands moved with purpose, and his lips followed with soft kisses down my neck and chest until I was trembling beneath him. The air was thick with the sound of our labored breathing and quiet murmurs of need and desire. He lingered over each moment, ensuring that every sensation was heightened. Just when I thought I couldn't take any more, he paused, pulling back slightly to gaze at me. His eyes were filled with longing. "You're so beautiful," he whispered, his hand gently cradling my face as he kissed me tenderly. "I've admired you for a long time." In that moment, I couldn't contain my feelings any longer. I pulled him closer, kissing him passionately, expressing the depth of my emotions. Our bodies moved together in perfect harmony, each kiss and touch sending waves of pleasure through me. The intensity was overwhelming, and I felt myself giving in completely to the moment. Just as the peak of pleasure neared, he paused, delaying the inevitable. He smiled against my skin, fully aware of the effect he had on me. I let out a frustrated moan, urging him to continue. "Not yet," he murmured, his voice low and filled with promise. "I want this to last." He took his time, drawing out every moment, making sure I felt every touch and kiss, until I was trembling with anticipation, on the verge of complete surrender. When the moment finally came, it was more powerful than anything I had ever experienced. A wave of pleasure that left me breathless and completely spent. Afterwards, he held me, his arms wrapped tightly around me. As we lay together, our bodies still entwined, I could feel his heart beat against mine, steady and calm me. I knew then that everything between us had changed. This wasn't just a passing encounter. It was something much deeper, something real. We didn't need words to understand the connection between us. It was undeniable, stronger than anything words could express. As we lay there, I realized this was only the beginning of something we both craved. His lips trailed down my neck again, igniting a fiery path on my skin. Each kiss sent jolts of pleasure through me. I could feel his breath quicken, matching my own. As our bodies drew even closer, his hands, both firm and gentle, explored my body, teasing and exciting me. I gasped as his fingers tangled in my hair, pulling me into another passionate kiss that left me breathless. Our tongues danced together, the taste of him intensifying my desire. My body responded instinctively, arching toward him, craving more of his touch. Time seemed to disappear as we lost ourselves in each other. Our hands explored, our lips never parted for long. The heat between us built to an almost unbearable level. His touch became more urgent, more insistent, and so did mine. I pulled him closer, wanting to feel every part of him against me. The desire between us surged, our breaths coming in heavy, ragged bursts. We surrendered to the primal urge to be together. In this moment, the outside world vanished, leaving only the sensation of his skin against mine. Our bodies entwined, his mouth explored mine, his body pressed firmly against me, overwhelming me with its intensity. It was a moment of pure, raw passion, and neither of us wanted it to end.